Hey, Fred. How would you describe the mood in the room the last couple of days, and how do you feel you guys responded today? Are you happy with the response from today?
Yeah, I mean, we've been fine. Listen, we've been fine. I think, we looked at the film, some tough conversations had, and that's what it takes to get better sometimes. You got to tell each other the truth. Your coaches got to tell you the truth, and that's part of growing and getting better is accountability and you know, uh, kind of rebounding from that and not doing it again. So I was happy to see our effort, intensity, and all of the above rise today to the level that we know we're capable of.
Sounds like there was a focus on executing in the zone in practice yesterday. In what areas did you think that you guys improved in terms of attacking the zone today?
I mean, it wasn't really that much different, I don't think. I think obviously we tried to not make the same type of mistakes, and I think we still went a long period of time without scoring, but it was more so all the other stuff. The zone really wasn't the worst of what we were dealing with. Like your defense and your decision making, your assertiveness, your effort has got to give you a chance. And I thought we did a lot better job of that. And I thought we found different, cuts and different spacing opportunities tonight that maybe we didn't do last game. So all in all, I think we improved in pretty much every area, and that's all you can ask for.
Great. Thanks, Fred. Have a good night, man.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Doug Smith from the Toronto Star.
Hello, Fred. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you, Doug?
I'm all right, thank you. This team has given up leads several times this season, and this tonight, you gave up 21-point lead. Why this tonight were you able to respond as well as you did in those last 18 minutes?
It's just kind of a bend but don't break type of thing. We it's a game of runs, and I think the momentum is so much different now with being in a big arena with no crowds, and
Yeah.
some of that it's just a different game and a different feel to it. So just kind of one of those things where we know that Miami's a tough team. It doesn't matter who they have out on the floor. They're a well coached organization. All of those guys are tough players, and so we knew they were going to make a run. But I think we weathered it pretty well and were able to bounce back with a nice fourth quarter. So while you don't want to, concede any lead, it's playing with a lead in the NBA is probably one of the tougher things to do. And we knew that they would make a push, but we were able to answer and continue to make plays down the fourth. So it's one of those games where you got to will it all the way home, and we were able to do that.
I just want away from tonight, if I may. We won't get a chance to talk tomorrow. You're going to see Nate on Sunday. And I think when he got the Indiana job, you were one of the players who came out on social media quite happy for him. What did you see in him as an assistant that made you think he would be a head coach, a good head coach?
Nate is one of the best coaches I've ever been around in my short life, and he's an even better person. So from day one, when he showed up to Toronto, and he worked me and Greg Monroe out before I even knew who he was, he treated me as if I was Kawhi Leonard,
Ah,
and he kept that from day one all the way to the end, and our relationship grown over time. And then once I found out the relationships, between getting to know him and Nick and Mark Tyndale, just continue to grow closer to him. And Nate was a guy who I talked to every day, during practice, before practice, after practice, during the games, after the games, and we were able to build an incredible relationship. But that's all just a testament to the person he is, and he knows his stuff. When it comes to basketball as well.
it is hard, I think, sometimes for assistant coaches to move that one seat to the left. That's a big move. Were you convinced he would have the, I don't know, strength of personality or command the respect of the players that he obviously has?
Nah, it's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard not to like Nate. If you don't like Nate, you're crazy. There's something wrong with you. So, I think that was the perfect situation for him. That type of team, with those guys, and that's why it was important for me to give Nate a cosign to let the world know, like, no, we were rocking with Nate from the best player on the team to the last guy on the team, and it was either going to be a home run or he was going to be out of there early. And I'm glad that he's been doing well, but we need him to suck for two days, Sunday and Monday, and then he can go back to killing it like he's been.
Great, Fred. Thanks very much. I appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Michael Grange from Sportsnet.
Hey, Fred, another kind of off-topic question. I hope you don't mind. next week they're going to be marking the anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the other 7 people in that helicopter. So I've been asking some of the guys, the example that Kobe brought to the league as a workplace. Do you still see the fact that younger guys like yourself and even younger than you have had to study, had the opportunity to study how he approached his business, how he approached his job, his family. Has that been a good thing? Do you think out of the tragedy, do you think there's been a benefit to it? And do you think the league's a better place for having that example out there?
That's a very optimistic way to look at it, Mike. But I would have
what I mean?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think that like when he was still here with us and preaching Mamba mentality, it was just kind of like a thing where people looked at it like, okay, this is Mamba mentality means you got to shoot it every time you touch it and you're the best player on the floor. But I've been a student of Kobe my entire life, and I think the biggest thing is I can almost see what guys had a love for Kobe and an adoration and studied the way that he played, the way that he approached practice, the way that he worked out, his business. Then you can almost just see which guys kind of try to adapt some of that. And some guys, you take a DeMar and you look at his game is so similar, and then some guys you just look at the way that they play with their ferociousness and their attention to detail and those kind of things. So obviously an incredible tragedy for all parties involved, but he left a lasting impact on the world, in many different ways outside of basketball, and obviously the basketball world is. But I think to answer your question, finally, I think that him passing in the way he did, it allowed people to look at him more so in a positive light than maybe he was looked at, his entire career. Because I remember as a kid being a Kobe fan, it was tough, man. Like I got in real arguments and fights and different things. Kobe was not the most liked guy while he was still playing and still active. And then, obviously towards the end, we got a great appreciation for him. But that's probably the most thing I'm happy about is seeing people put him more so in a positive light and focus on all the good things he's done.
I appreciate that. And yeah, thoughts with you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Christos in Greece.
Hello, Fred. Congratulations on the win. I would like to ask you, what was the meaning of this win, especially with the way that you won, because you allowed just 81 points. How important for you was that number? Also, how enjoyable for you was the performance of Norman Powell tonight?
Yeah, all of those things were great, man. I think it was a big win for us. Obviously, like I said earlier, losing it doesn't sit well with anybody around here. And so the last day and a half, people were pretty uptight, but, it's good to get back on the winning side and to play the way that we did with the aggressiveness and the intensity and the effort that we showed tonight. That was big for us. And obviously Norman, when he gets, that type of opportunity, he's usually ready for it. And he stepped up and gave us a big scoring punch tonight. And we're going to need him to continue to be that player for us. And, he gave us a big boost tonight.
And final question for you, Norm, is going to Louis Zatzman from Raptors Republic.
Hey, man, another general question. I wanted to ask about, how you look at a season where you guys have now outscored your opponents and have a below 500 record. Guys have shot better than average on contested shots, really hard shots. Do you ever think about the season in terms of, like luck, or maybe a better word is like uncontrollables?
Yeah, sure. I think, some of that stuff is like, you can go down a rabbit hole a little bit. So while you're in competitive mode and get better mode and being hard on yourself, you say, well, a lot of those things if they made tough shots, we didn't make them tough enough, and you try to continue to get better. But sure, there's some of those games that just didn't go our way, and you rack enough of those up. The one thing I will say is the first 3 to 4, 5, we didn't really give ourselves a chance because of our spirit of the game. Our competitive level wasn't high enough, and so we can't take those back. It is what it is, but I think that's why I'm not panicking, certainly not panicking. I feel great about this team. I feel great about our chances down the stretch. We got a long way to go, and we can continue to keep building. And there's a bunch of teams bunched up there that's fighting for, those last couple of spots. And I think we can just keep taking day by day. We'll work ourselves right back into the playoff picture. And once we get to the playoffs, we'll be a tough out for anybody. But sure, there's some of that. Where you look and say, a couple bounces here, a couple bounces there, a couple game winners go in and out. We make them, and we're looking at a different record. But we got to give ourselves. We got to make those plays. We got to make those things happen. It's not going to happen for us.